don't expect to retire after the first investment property purchase. You want to start early as possible in taking action to acquire real estate because you don't know what it can do for you if you don't start taking action. I was like, well, if I live in one unit and if I have tenants, that will reduce my cost of living. The thing about it is, you acquire one, you see the benefits, and that'll motivate you to buy another one. So when I got laid off, I said, I need to create an additional plan in place just in case. And so from there, I said, I need to look into this even more and start taking action.
Owen, just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you got interested in real estate investing.
So I guess quick background, I've been investing in real estate for almost 20 years. Out of college, as you mentioned, I worked in corporate America, and that was good. I think initially when I first started, but I got laid off from corporate America, and I returned. But doing get laid off, it says, what? I can't put all my eggs in one basket. And I think also too, there were some relatives like my parents and a few other relatives that had a few investment properties. So I didn't know it too well, but it was around me enough to say, oh, that's there, right? And then I think so when I got laid off, I said, I need to create an additional plan in place just in case. And so from there, I said, I need to look into this even more and start taking action. And what I tell people is that you want to start early as possible in taking action to acquire real estate because you don't know what it can do for you if you don't start taking action. So it could be as simple as buying your first home. That can also help you later on in the future.
That is so true. Most people don't realize that real estate is the number one way to build wealth for most people in the United States and also in the world, actually. And so 89% of wealth comes from real estate investing. So buying that first home, as you stated, is a great, great, great first step. And there's also, for those people who want to take an additional step, it'll help you when you get ready to do investment in properties other than your primary residence. And that's kind of one of the things that we're going to be talking about today. But before we jump into that, I want you to share about your transition because you went from, financing and then you went into actual investment. So how did you first start, BRRRR investments? Like how did you jump into that world?
So I guess starting for real estate investing itself. So after I acquired my first home, I said, I saw the benefits of it from like a tax professional perspective. I realized that my tax return was better after I got my first home. And then I looked at I had a single family home and my second home was that triplex. And I did simple math, right? I was like, well, if I live in one unit and if I have tenants, that will reduce my cost of living. So I'll tell you all the time, like, don't overcomplicate it, right? And so when I did that, I was like, I started to realize the benefit where my cost of living was significantly reduced. I said, well, if I buy another one, can it go down some more? And so the thing about it is, you acquire one, you see the benefits, and that'll motivate you to buy another one. So, I call it the law of the first deal, right?
Yeah.
Once you see the benefits of doing that first investments, you don't have to motivate yourself anymore because you see it. And that's what helped me to buy another property after that, was that I saw the benefit the first time. And then as you decide to do multiple rentals, over time, it'll snowball the different rental payments. So I do want to say, don't expect to retire after the first investment property purchase. But if you keep at it, if you do one every 2 years, over time, it will snowball as far as the rental income, but also too, the equity as well can snowball as well as the property value goes up.
Indeed, indeed. I share with people all the time that property is the best bank.
Yes. And the good thing, I'm glad you mentioned that, it's a bank that you control, right? And so
Indeed.
I'm not against the stock market, but you are investing in something that you don't fully control. But when it comes to real estate, as your bank, you control when to refinance and other things as well with that business that you control.